Okay, how about now? Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Please join fast, students. Okay, hopefully you can see my screen. Now, can you see steps involved in developing IMC program?
Yes, sir.
Okay, nice. So we'll just start with the previous class, what we did from there. Okay. So in the previous class, if you see, we have started with the communication process. We had seen what are the components of the communication process and how they are being used, or what is the usage of all those elements of communication process. Okay. Then after that, we saw the steps involved in the developing IMC program. So there are 4 steps. Even I told the whole big uh, what do you call tabular column is also available. So just check for how many marks they have asked and what we are doing it. Okay. So they have asked for 7 marks. So this will be the 4 steps and you need to explain them properly. Or else there is a diagram which you need to be drawn as well as explain each and every step. Okay. After that, we are moving to benefits of advertising. So what are the benefits of advertising? There are two kinds of benefits, one to the advertisers and the other to the customers or the prospect customers. So first we'll see benefits to the advertisers. So what happens? What will be the benefits of the advertisers? So first one is establishes link with the customer. That means they are trying to communicate with the customer. There is a particular link that is being there, okay, which will be helping the company to have a talk with the customers. Okay, and next is the it enables introduction of new products or services. So if the company is already there in the market and it is trying to come up with a new product or new service, so it can easily introduce it to the prospect customers or the present customers of that particular company. So it helps because they already are communicating with the customers as and when they require or as and when they want to communicate something. So again, if they are coming up with a new product, it is very easy for the company to convey it to the customers. Next, helps to keep the customers well informed. So what is happening in the company? Like for example, just as a product or as a service, I'm not talking here. Even the company, like for the customers to have trust in the company, they should know what is happening in the company, whether it is going on well or no, what kind of product they are making, whether it is up to the mark or no, what are the quality standards of it. So each and everything, something or the other, whatever is happening, some new upgrades in the company, everything will be communicated basically. So like if they want to bring new technology in, so they say okay, we are ramping up the technology, we are bringing technology from this company or from this country. So this will help all the consumers know what is going on in the company. So that is what we are telling here, helps to keep the customers well informed what is happening in the company, any new product. Okay, be prepared, we are coming up, we are launching up with a new product, the launch date is this, the product looks like this. So all these things are a way of communicating and building interest in the consumers for that particular product. Okay, next is helps in building brand image. So you know what is image, what a particular person thinks when he hears the name or when he sees a particular product. So how to build, so you need to tell them continuously about your product, so that whenever they think about something, they should be associating it with your product or your service or your company. So that is what is your brand image. Next comes smoothens product adoption process. Adoption process in the sense, for example, you're coming up with a new product into the market. Okay, so there might be some other competitors who might already be there in the product market, or some similar products are already available in the market. But when you come with your new product into the market, it should not be difficult for the customers to switch it. okay, from your competitor's product to your product. So it says that smoothens product adoption process. That means adoption in the sense they are trying to use your product, or they're trying to change whatever they are using earlier and they want to use your product. So how easy it is, because you should tell them it is like, for I tell you, it is very easy for one person to change whatever he is doing, okay, or whatever product he is using. For example, a soap, okay, you are very attached with your soap, claims that it is better than that. Okay, so for example, you might be knowing the war between the Dove and the Sebamed about the pH levels and all. So when Sebamed came, it is telling that it's directly comparing the pH levels of Pierce, Dove, and all other soaps, saying that its pH is very less and it is not that harmful to the skin. Okay, so something like this, when you are having a trust as a customer on particular product. For example, I gave you the soap. If Sebamed comes and it tries to convince you to buy that particular product of that particular company, so it should not be difficult. That someone should not pressurize you to buy it. It should be on your own. It should be very easy for you to adapt. So similarly, we'll make attempts, okay, advertising attempts, saying that okay, how my product is better than whatever is existing in the market. So if you are creating that smooth curve for your customer, so it will be easy for him or her to switch from earlier product to your product. Or if it's a new thing, if you are a newcomer into the market, in the sense, not newcomer, first mover into the market, sorry, first mover into the market, that means you are coming up with a unique product and you are having the what you call advantage, because all others are not having anything into the market. For example, touchscreen mobile phones. So it might be a very old example, but few years back it was like a touchpad or a keypad mobiles were there. So suddenly one of the person or one of the mobile companies came up with a touch screen. So he was the first mover. If somebody wants to buy a touch screen, there was only one thing available to him and he has to go there. Okay, and he should not feel threatened by it, in the sense, okay, I keep it in my pocket and something touches and it works. No, so you should make him believe that it is better than the keypad one, then only he'll buy. Otherwise, seeing the price, because as it is a new product in the market, the price would be higher than all the other cell phones. So you should convince him to buy it at a higher price than whatever he's buying, because he's already comfortable with what he's using. Why you why a person wants to change when he's comfortable with whatever he's using? So you should tell what are the advantages, what are the new things that he is going to experience with the product that is there in the market. So by doing all these things, it is very easy for a customer to adapt. So that is what it says, smoothens product adoption process. Okay, these are the benefits to the advertisers. Next comes consumers or customers. So acts as guide in choosing the product. So there are, as I told you, multiple products in the market. So as your it should be in a proper way where it should guide your customers or consumers in buying your product. Okay, it should say what are the benefits of your product over your competitor products. Okay, and why should I use it? Okay, so all these things help in guiding the consumers towards your product. Okay, it saves time. So he'll not open his laptop or he's not going to the market and keep on checking with other people. If he can do that also, but instead of doing all those things, he'll just see the ads. If he likes it, he goes and buys. So he is being saved his time. Okay, so all the advertisements about the product and knowledge sharing by the company to the consumers saves time. Okay, next is many products and services contribute to consumer welfare. So there are many products and services which will help the consumers in making himself or herself. Just a second, I'll admit. Okay. So many products and services contribute to consumer welfare. So there are some things which are very good to the customer and he will not be known. So those kinds of information are also being given. Okay, like for example, salt is very good for your teeth. So what they have done, Colgate, they have used active salt toothpaste. So they are trying to tell that to the consumers that yes, salt in the olden days were used by many people to brush teeth. So now I'm using the same thing in your paste. Now because nobody uses salt directly. So you are using toothpaste and I'm providing the benefits of salt in my toothpaste. So why can't you use that? So that is kind of you are helping the consumer to better his welfare. Okay, next is provides information regarding availability and price of the product. So you might have seen, okay, this much grams of the product at this particular price. Okay, so this is also the information provided by the company to the consumer. So he doesn't need to go there and check whether he's having that much of money or not, or whether it fits his budget or not. It is very embarrassing to go to a shop and ask for a particular product, see the price and say don't want. So it is very easy for the consumer to judge whether that product is well within his budget or not, and what is the quantity that he will be getting when he's buying a particular product at that particular price. Okay, so it helps customers in this particular way as well. Okay, next, role of advertising. So what role advertising plays, okay, with respect to the company as well as the customer? It communicates with the consumers. Communication with the consumers happens, so as I already told you, so whatever is going on in the company should be communicated. Okay, there are many things that will be not be shared. So some things will not be shared, like the formula what they are using. Okay, and some secret things what they discuss and all, so those will not be done. The only thing is what the customer wants to know, only those will be done. And it will be, advertising is one of the way of communicating with the customers. Next is the persuasion, that is you are persuading the customer to buy your product. If he is not using presently, you are trying to persuade, you are trying to change his perception, okay, towards your product, and you are trying to make him buy your product. That is what is persuasion. Next is catalyst for change. Catalyst in the sense, it is trying to increase the pace of the change. Pace in the sense, speed of the change. Okay, so under that we are having creative ads leads to change in perception of the customer. I just spoke about perception. So there are creative ads, many creative ads which are trying to change the perception of the product or the brand in the minds of the customers. Okay, like for example, Sprite, clear hai. What do you mean by that? So don't expect anything, just drink, be clear on what you want to do, take a break. Kit Kat, okay, so you are very hectic now, take a break, have it, enjoy it, then go back to full of enthusiasm. So these are some of the creative ads by which they are saying, okay, if you are tensed, so eat Kit Kat, take a break. Next is hungry. If you are hungry, hungry kya? Snickers kha. So Snickers are trying to put in the minds of the people that if you are hungry, you need to eat Snickers. Okay, it will try to minimize your hunger. So these are some of the ads, okay, creative ads which are trying to change the perception. It's not just a chocolate. For example, Snickers, it's not just a chocolate, it is having all these things which will reduce your hunger. Okay, next is differentiates the product and helps the customer in changing the product or brand. Differentiates the product. Differentiation in the sense, how different is your product than other products that are available in the market or your competitors product, and helps the customers in changing the product or the brand. I just spoke about the adoption process. So you are highlighting your uniqueness into the market which are not available or are available in the competitors but at a lesser rate or a lower quantity, for example. So you are saying that, okay, I'm providing more at the same price what my competitor is providing. So these many things are more in my product. These all things, it might be quantity, it might be the quality, it might be the other benefits, added benefits, we don't know. It could be related to the product and the service basically. Okay, so next is contribute to economic growth. Need for non-commercial advertising. There are many advertisements where they are not showing, basically telling you to buy the product. They are just trying to make you aware that this is there, this happens. Like for example, in a movie theater, if you go, they say तंबाकू खाना सेहत के लिए हानिकारक है. They are not telling you about buying that particular thing. They're telling don't buy, don't eat. this is the effect on your basically your body. Okay, your body parts will be like this. So if you drink, your liver or your kidney may fail. So all these things are non-commercial advertisements. Okay, and next comes ads for social causes like anti-smoking. Just as told you, anti-smoking, don't smoke, you will die, smoking kills. And pulse polio. So they show like if you're not taking that pulse polio or like not giving your child that particular 2 drops of polio drops basically. So what happens? So they may be handicapped for life. Okay, so these all things are there. These all things come under contribution to economic growth. Okay, ads for social causes like anti-smoking and pulse polio. Next is advertising. So what are the functions? So there are 3 kinds of functions. One is social function. Consumer protection is achieved by educating the consumer through advertisement, like Jago Grahak Jago. Okay, so these things are there. It is being done both. We are telling that okay, don't fall in the trap of the companies where they say something and they provide you with something. So this is one of the ad where they are telling you can be aware of what is being done with you. So if something bad happens, there is someone who will compensate for it. Okay, that is what is the example. Jago Grahak Jago. Next is ads help in fight social causes like smoking, pollution, etc. Okay, social we just saw like non-commercial ads where quit smoking, so avoid pollution. Okay, like you could see like in some of the ads of petrol. So they say switch off your vehicle when you are waiting at the signal for the signal to get green. So switch off your vehicle so that you are saving so much. So there was something right, particular fuel company which it says, okay, you can save 20% of your money on this, and he says, give me my money back then. He says, no, you should save fuel. So by switching off your vehicle wherever it is not necessary to be switched on, okay, you are saving around 20% of your fuel. That is the social function. Okay, next is psychological function. Ad helps in addressing the psychological needs. Example, fairness,
Sir,
anti-dandruff. Yeah.
sir, Saukya is waiting, sir.
Yeah. Okay, so make sure you all join at the particular time given to you students, otherwise it is very difficult, you even disturb me as well. Okay, there will be a flow which will be interrupted. Okay, I may forget many of the things which I will be wanting to tell you. Okay, psychological function. Ads help in addressing the psychological needs, like if you want to become fair, okay, and your skin is not that fair, so some fairness creams. They say okay, it is not good to have dandruff. Basically it should not be visible, as well as it should not be there in your hair as well. Okay, anti-dandruff shampoo, fairness creams. Tall, so this could happen. If I was thin, this would happen. Like basically you want to be somewhere than where you are, so you want to have a fairer skin, you want to have anti-dandruff shampoo. It's not anti-dandruff shampoo, basically no dandruff in your head. You want to get thin, you want to get fat, okay, you want to get tall. So all these comes under the psychological function. Next is economic function. Ads help consumers to make decision which can help them save money. So you can see Big Bazaar, you can see Flipkart, you can see Snapdeal giving discount. So we are having 10% discounts on all of these, plus 3% discount on having certain kind of credit cards or debit cards. Okay, a certain bank is providing for these many days, that is like big billion days or whatever. Okay, so all these come under economic function of the consumer. If you buy this, you are saving. So you can buy as well as you can save. So they can say, okay, if anything, if you buy, there is a scratch card. If you get, you can get anything. Like for example, I think Castrol. So there is some thing they are calling it as Dhannasan or something. Those people will be sitting and there will be a can of that particular engine oil. You will open that cap, scan the QR code, and you are having a chance to win a gold coin. So these all are economic functions where customers are being benefited by buying your product economically. Whether it could be in the form of discounts, it could be in the form of gifts, it could be in the form of bundled products. Like if you buy these two products, you are getting at this particular price. If you buy these many cages, you will be getting at this price. So basically, it is economical for both the seller as well as the buyer, because as per seller, he sells more, he'll get profit. As per the buyer, you're buying at a lesser price. Okay. Next is, just a second. I think we jumped more. Okay. Functions. Three functions: social function, psychological function, and economical function. So next comes types of advertising. So there are different kinds of advertising. First, it is based on target group. So what kind of group you are targeting? One is consumer advertising, like soaps, detergents, toothpaste. Okay, so these are FMCG products where you are using at a on a daily basis. It could be shampoos also, shampoos, soaps, detergents, toilet cleaners, whatever. So all this comes under consumer advertising. Next comes service advertising. So the service providing companies, like you can see the example there, insurance companies, medical services, educational services. So all these things, when they are advertising, it comes under service advertising. Next is industrial advertising. So it is from one industry to other industry, or in the sense from one factory or one company to another company, or it could be one company to the end user, or it could be a common consumer as well. And not, it couldn't be, it shouldn't not be a institution or a factory also. Like for example, here it is given high capacity generators. So here it is for B2B, that is business to business, where they are in requirement of large electricity, like where there is a large electricity consumption, and if there is a power failure, so they say okay, there is generators. So for example, in our college as well, we are having generator. As and when the power goes off, they'll switch on the generator. So if you see the number of classes and the number of bulbs and the number of fans and the number of systems in our college, it is huge. So we need a very big industrial capacity power generator. So in those places we are using it. So institutional came. So next is a generator. You can see like a shop, a retail shop where they are having a small generator. As and when the power goes off, they'll switch on. You can hear that sound of the engine. Brrr, it will start. Okay. As and when there is no power, and they switch on that particular generator. Okay. Next comes surrogate marketing. What is surrogate marketing? So you'll be marketing one product in the place of something else. For example, if you see for all the uh, alcoholic beverages, so India, we are not allowed to directly market those. So how they are being marketed? So example is given to you: Kingfisher mineral water, McDowell's mineral water. Okay, then which is that? Mm, mineral water. Then Bacardi music CDs. Okay, then something is there where they are. I am not remembering the name. Where they are advertising glasses. Carlsberg. Yeah, Carlsberg. You know what we make. Okay, is their tagline in that particular advertisement. So they are basically selling glasses, and they at the end they say, you know what we do. Okay, so it is surrogate marketing, where you are marketing one thing, but instead you are basically pointing at some other thing where you cannot market it directly. So those are called as surrogate advertisements. So example: Kingfisher mineral water, McDowell's mineral water, Bacardi CDs and music, example, and so on. So trade advertising, retail advertising, and wholesale advertising. In retail, this is the price. In wholesale, this is the price. This is the quantity that you need to buy. So retail and wholesale advertising. Next, non-profit advertising, like contributing to Elders Care as of now, TM's Care Fund. So these are non-profit advertising. So they are not getting any profit. They are gathering money for some cause. Okay, for example, you can say that okay, cancer patients are there, for them you could donate. Switch on your YouTube, you can see donate card. So many people are there. Milap. So they say, okay, you can donate money. There is some patient, a small kid who is in need of operation and they are not able to afford it. So you can donate over there. So all these are non-profit advertising. Okay. Next comes public service advertising. Public service, we have seen don't drink and drive. Okay. So that is major thing where people are drinking and driving and meeting with accidents. So they are risking their life as well as life of the people who are moving on the roads. It could be other cars, it could be pedestrians, it could be two-wheelers, it could be cycles, whomever it is. Okay, they are basically having a threat on the life of other people as well, and just not on themselves. So this is one of the examples. So next, coming to type of impact required advertising. So first one, if you see, what was that? Target group. So what kind of group are we targeting? Okay, that was the first one. Next one is type of impact required advertisement, like promotional demand advertising. Here it is intended to affect the demand for the type of product and not for any particular brand. Okay, here we are saying that we are advertising for a product. Okay, we are advertising for a product and not for any brand. So best example, ads promoting benefits of eating egg. So they say like many people sell eggs with their own brand, but here in general eggs are being promoted and not a particular brand of eggs. Okay. What is that? Sunday Oya Monday, roast cow one day. This was being aired earlier. Now very rarely in national channels and all we are getting. So Sunday Oya Monday, roast cow one day. This was one of the ways of promoting egg. It gives you health, it gives you proteins, it gives you energy and all. So these are kind of examples. Okay, ad promotions for benefits of eating egg. Next is direct or indirect action demand advertising. So direct action ads, they aim for immediate response. Like a particular ad is coming which says, okay, a coupon code is there. If you want to avail this, there is a discount of 5% or a discount of 100 rupees. You might have seen, like on your phone pay and all. So a particular coupon comes and it says it is valid for a month, it is valid for a week, it is valid for a day or so. So these are immediate action where you are providing a particular coupon and asking your customer to buy it now. You want to have that particular thing to be bought or sold or do whatever or avail that thing now for use of that or for getting that particular discount, whether it could be a 5%, 100 rupees, 150 rupees, whatever. The next, indirect action ads. It aims to create favorable attitude towards the brand, like cars, durable goods. Example here, if you see, they say, okay, if you buy this, the rating is so much, the mileage is so much. Okay, indirect ads basically putting a particular thing into the mind of the people, where if you are thinking to buy that product, you should remember that. Like for example, if you are looking to buy a two-wheeler, okay, so many people are having different things. Like for example, if you want prestige and all, you buy a big vehicle like Bullet, or it could be a Dominar or whatever. Okay, if other people you are looking for mileage, you are traveling too far. Okay, you are looking for mileage. There is Hero Honda, there is Honda. Okay, so suddenly when you think of a certain thing, you remember something. So that is what the advertisers want. Okay, if you're looking for look, if you're looking for sporty bike, you're looking for more power, you're looking for more mileage, you're looking for less maintenance. Even for cars, if you see Hyundai and all, they're saying, okay, in the initial stage only there is a calculator. Yesterday only I saw a Hyundai advertise where it says no need to wait to know what are the maintenance cost. Everything is being given to you. So you are spending so much per year or for 2 years, for 3 years. It's being calculated earlier only to you and is being given to you. If you buy my car, this is the maintenance charges. If you are thinking about the maintenance charges before buying the car. Okay, so these are indirect action ads, where if you are looking for a particular thing, a particular company or a brand pops into your mind. The next is institutional advertisement. It is about the good work done by a company or institution. Okay, like for example, Infosys or TCS in Chennai and all, if they're there. I remember that particular example where when I was working in Chennai, they had taken their employees for 2 hours or 3 hours to go and clean the beaches. Okay, then they have made that advertisement. So Infosys was there or TCS was there to clean this particular beach for us to enjoy. Okay, so just an example I'm telling you. So it could come under a CSR activity as well, by done by the company employees as well as the company sponsoring it. Okay, so it is about good work done by the company. It is helping many people. Like for example, you could see ads in the TV. Like if you buy my product, one bottle if you buy, I am donating 1 rupee towards building up of schools or encouraging some of the institutional advertisement which they say, if you buy my product, this is being done, or these all things are being done by the So who are the interested people here? Are the shareholders, employees, suppliers, and the general public. So the people who may not be using the product may also go and start using the product if they see the benefits. Okay. Next, third one is the geographical area. So there are three kinds of advertising: national, local, and global. So it could be done local, national, and global. Sorry, local, national, and global. Okay. So from small to big, we can go or national, local, or global. So national advertisements, these ads are run all across the region of a country or the whole country basically. It encourages the customers or consumers to buy the product across the country. Okay, so example is given: HUL, Britannia, whatever the products they are having, the advertisement is done all over the country and it's not region specific. So only in North India or South India or the East India or West India, no. So these kinds of ads are run for these particular brands throughout the country. Okay, next is local advertising. They are generally given by retailers. They provide specific information for the consumer. So for example, a particular dealer of a particular thing, it could be a laptop, it could be two-wheeler, it could be four-wheeler, or it could be any local product that is being manufactured there and is not being sold anywhere else. So those kind of products are only advertised in local advertising. Okay, so for example, if you switch on the in movies or basically BRDS, so there they are having all the different kinds of advertisements done, which are available in Belgaum. Okay, the shops or the retailers or any products that is being needed. Okay, or if you see the FM, so which kind of people give ads in FM? So wherever it is being broadcasted, okay, in a particular city or a city and its nearby areas. So those people only give ads in that particular FM or in local TV channels. For example, it could be jewelers, it could be cloth shops, it should be merchants, cloth merchants, it could be any particular thing that is being specially made there. Okay, so those kind of advertisements are given in local advertising. And next is global advertising. They are used by global companies where a company is having its presence in more than one country or basically many countries, we can say, like IBM, Intel, Microsoft, Google. So all these companies, they are having their presence in multiple countries. So if they run ads in many countries, so it becomes a global advertisement. So national advertisement in one country, local advertisement a single place in a particular country. Okay, it could be a district, it could be a state, it could be a small city, it could be a village, it could be anything. Okay, that is local advertising. And the last one is you are advertising globally, which means you are advertising in many countries simultaneously of the same product. Okay, like example, your systems, your iPhone, mobiles, it is done globally. The advertisement is done globally, and the product is available globally. Okay, just an example. IBM, Intel was given. I gave you any mobile manufacturer who is there in multiple countries. Apple, Samsung, okay, Motorola, all these are having global ads. Next, advertising and marketing mix. So what is this? You already know what is marketing mix: product, price, place, and promotion. So how advertisement has an effect on all these four marketing mix, or how these both things are integrated, that is advertising and marketing mix. So next, if we see advertising and product. So if you see four things: product, price, place, and promotion. So first one is advertising and the product. So what are there? Product is a bundle of values, satisfaction to the customer, which provides satisfaction to the customers depending on the consumer needs. The satisfaction the customer derives is called as the benefits. So what benefits a particular consumer has? That is, he is basically having satisfaction of being met his needs. Classification. What kind of classification we can do? We can do consumer products or consumer goods, like we use on a daily basis: food, cloth, based on the consumption and tangibility. So how can you feel in touch is tangibility. Consumption, like for example, toothpaste, soap, shampoo. So you are using it on a regular basis. So toothpaste, shampoo, toothpaste and soap you are using on a daily basis. Shampoo, some people may use it on a daily basis, or some people at a regular pace, like 2 days once, a week once, depending upon their usage. But toothpaste and all, you are using it on a daily basis. Toothpaste, then soaps, hand washes, and now if you see in our present condition, the hand sanitizers, the masks, the gloves. So these all are the things which are used on a daily basis. So these are consumer goods. Next is durable goods. So what are durable goods? Durable goods are the goods which once if you buy, you are using them for many years. Okay, will last long and not bought frequently. These are not bought frequently, like your refrigerator, your TVs, ovens. Okay, all these things you buy very rarely. Once if you buy, you will not look to buy those products for years together. So refrigerator, 3 years, 5 years, 8 years, 10 years. Your two-wheelers, it could be 15 years also. Your TVs could be minimum of 3 to 5 years minimum. So if something happens to it and if it is not working properly, then only you'll change. Otherwise, you will continue with that. Or if something new technology has come and everything has to be changed, then only you will change that particular product. So those are durable goods. Next is non-durable goods. These are consumed and need to be bought frequently, like apparels, your dresses. So you are using them regularly and you are buying new dresses at a regular period of time. It's not like you are buying today and you are not buying for 2 to 3 years. No. For every function you want a new dress. For every festival you want. Okay. So these are frequently bought apparels. Example. Next is convenience goods. Purchased frequently with very little involvement. So you don't care what they are giving. Example is Matchbox. You go and say, I need a Matchbox. Whatever he gives, you'll take and come. Unless you know specifically I used it and you are not very much particular thing. Or it could be the length of the matchstick. If you see in the matchstick also or matchbox also, there are big sticks, small sticks, there are wax sticks. So many things are there. So some people may not like some of the things, or based on what they are using, they don't want to use that. Then only they'll change it. Otherwise, matchbox at home, it's like anything you can get. Okay. So next is shopping goods, not frequently purchased and planning is required, like furniture, like a treasury, like a maker at home. Okay. So all these things are not frequently done, but needs planning. Okay. Next, specialty goods. Products have unique characteristics and brand identifications, like cameras. So it is used for only a specific thing. Okay, it could be camera, it could be what do you call digital cameras, your mobile phones. These are specialty goods. your laptops and all, you won't buy it regularly. It's nothing like okay, every month or every 6 months you're buying a laptop. No, before doing it, you are looking at them, you are looking at the brands, and you are trying to match what characteristics you require and what the characteristics are there. Like for example, if you see laptop, for what you are using, for academic purpose, for watching movies, for playing games, for each and everything you are having a different kind of a laptop. Okay, or for just local use where you are looking at your mails, or for office use, something like that. So each and every type of work has a different kind of product category. Okay, like for gaming, everything is sturdy. It is having a good quality of keyboard, where if you hit fast also or hard also, nothing will happen. For a normal laptop also, like the normal keyboard also, nothing happens. But if you are using continuously, so it may break. So even the controls would change, even the mouse, only to left and right, and a scroll is there. Okay, so but in gaming laptops you are having different buttons which does different things, right? So based on those, we are having specialty goods. Next is advertisement and place. So first product is done, now we are having place. Role of advertisement depends on variety of distribution, like intensive distribution, selective distribution, and exclusive distribution. So under intensive distribution, products are easily available. So everywhere, wherever you go, okay, in the sense, uh, in every place I am talking, not in every store. Okay, you cannot ask soap in a grocery shop. They may keep, but very rarely. Okay, you cannot ask any what you call medicine in a grocery shop or in a stationery shop. So you should ask in a particular shop only, but it is available everywhere in those kinds of shops. Okay, these are called as intensive distribution. Like for example, if you go to hotel or any small pan shop, you can ask for cold drinks. So Coca-Cola, Pepsi, Fanta, Slice, so any one of these or multiple of these is available over there. So this is intensively distributed, so products are easily available, low involvement of consumers. So means you go and ask for thing, you get it, you drink and go. So you don't want to choose, sit, see what is the benefit of it, everything. You are not doing all those things. Then manufacturer advertises. So I give example of soft drinks, FMCG products. Okay, so all these things come under intensive distribution. So it is available abundantly in most of the places. Next is selective distribution, limited number of outlets. You can get this particular product in these shops in this particular city, so you put it there. Okay, so selective distribution. So advertisement cost is shared by retailer and the company, because it is only available at few shops, and the shop also or the retailer also helps the company in giving out the advertisements. So he shares the amount whichever or whatever is required in doing those advertisements. Next comes exclusive distribution. Only at that particular place or that particular shop only those particular things are available. So example, exclusive rights given to retailer or a wholesaler. Only he or she can sell that particular product. If someone else tries to sell it, there could be a case which could be filed on him, or there could be a compensation that could be asked by him or her. Manufacturer and retailer advertise together here as well. So example, Apple distributors. There are uh, Apple distributors who are only authorized to sell Apple products and nowhere else. Okay. So this is exclusive distribution. In online store, for example, exclusive distribution, some mobile phones, if you see, are launched in only some sites. For example, Flipkart or Snapdeal, you are getting only a certain kind of model of a certain brand of mobile available only at that particular online store. It could be Flipkart, it could be Snapdeal, it could be Amazon, whatever. Okay, so this is kind of exclusive distribution, which is pertaining to advertisement and place. Next comes advertising and promotion. Promotional mix constitutes personal selling. Okay, advertising, and there are further two. Okay, first we'll go with personal selling and advertising. So what is personal selling? Selling by counter by sales personnel. That means you go to a shop, there is a person cross counter selling is being done. That is personal selling. Selling by company salesperson. Company salespeople go around, like for example, SIM. So you can see people standing at busy places or corners of the road where they are selling SIM cards of certain things, like certain companies, like Airtel, it could be Airtel, it could be BSNL, it could be Idea, whatever. So you can see those people. You can see AquaGuard kept. You can see the vacuum cleaners kept over there. Okay, so these are the companies sales people who are standing there and who are trying to sell, or you can see some people coming to your home, to your door, and they're trying to sell some things like books, then some what do you call, FMCG products like phenyl, the soaps, agarbattis. So in agarbattis and incense sticks. So all these things they come to door and they sell. Now it is stopped because of Corona and all. But earlier, before Corona and all, many people used to come to your doorsteps. So that, those all come under personal selling. Next is advertising. It is non-personal selling for creating awareness, persuade and remind customers. That means you are not talking to them face to face. It is for masses or a group of people at once. Okay, that is non-personal selling. What all it does, it creates awareness. It tries to persuade. It tries to make those people buy their product and remind the customers that they are having a product which is there in the market which could help them in their needs. Okay, so what all it does, it focuses on significant product differentiation. How different is my product than the competitors? Second one is hidden qualities in a product. What all things are there which we don't usually look into when we see a product. So all those things are highlighted. Next, to express emotional but rational appeal. If you see something, they try to connect your emotions with those. So if you are in a certain state of emotion, you want to eat that. Okay, for example, I told Kit Kat, take a break. That means if you think that you are very stressed, if you remember that ad, okay, I want to have Kit Kat. Okay, just as an example, emotion. Okay, if you are sad, many people think of eating something or drinking something, they associate with it. So these particular advertisers are trying to cash on it. In the sense, they're trying to put their products into your mind when you are at a particular kind of a situation. Like if you are hungry, yeah, Snickers cow. Okay, so they are trying to say that if you are hungry, eat Snickers if you don't have anything. Okay, next is public relations and sales promotion. What are public relations? It includes in-store leaflets, press release, lobbying, etc. So in-store leaflets, in a sense, when you go to any shop, say they give you a particular leaflet stating what all they are having, or what all products or services they may have, or they can offer you. So these are in-store leaflets. Then press release. So there will be a huge press conference stating what all is being done, what they are planning to do, what are their future plans, or in case of if something has happened, so they want to communicate that. So that comes under public relations. So it helps in fighting negativity publicly. If some news might have come, it could be harmful for the company or negative to the company, or it may not be true. Okay, so those kinds of things, to avoid them, the companies go publicly. They have a press release and say, okay, whatever things are being said or whatever things are being claimed by my product are absolutely wrong. Okay, it's not that. If you want, these things are the proof of it. If they are having proof, okay. So all these things are being done. Then influencers, opinion makers like journalists. So if they are having any kind of questions, so in these press releases, they'll call or they'll speak to the people. Okay, they'll speak to the company. Whatever doubts they are having, they'll clear it. They have a particular thing in their mind, and based on that, they'll write an article stating whether it is good, it is bad, it is okay. Okay, all these things are there. They try to influence on the opinion makers. Why they are called as opinion makers? Because their opinion is being printed in mass or it's being telecasted, and you see it and you get influenced by it. Okay, it could be on social medias, like you could see now, like social media influencers, the YouTubers, the TikTokers, all these people are called as influencers. Why? Because if you are using that product, your followers may also if it is only 10% conversion, if the person is having 1 million followers, and if only 10% of them also want to try it, see how much it is. 1 million is 10 lakhs, and 10% of it is 1 lakh. So if 1 lakh people also buy their product, so it is sales of 1 lakh, and it is not less. It is very difficult to achieve 1 lakh of sales of a particular product. So here these people are influencing the buying behavior, or the buying what do you call, mm, choices of people basically. Then comes sales promotion, includes free samples, discounts, coupons. If you go somewhere, they'll say, like in perfumes, in malls and all, if you go, they say, okay, sir, please, you can have my perfume, smell it, if you like, you can buy it. Okay, so these are kind of samples. Discounts, sir, a particular discount is there, it's a limited period offer. If you buy now, you are getting a 10% discount. Plus, if you order it now for more than one or two, you are getting additional 10% of discount. So these are kind of things where they are promoting their product, saying that okay, if you buy now, or if you have a order now, you are having this much of discount. This is being done. Then coupons. Say free coupons are being shared, say stating that okay, if you use this coupon in our store, this much of discounts is being given to you, or additional particular product is given to you because of the coupon that you have. So basically, they want to increase footfalls, or they want to increase clicks on their product in terms of online I'm speaking. Okay, it is more effective than advertising for immediate effects. That means it may take, promotions may take some time, as we already saw immediate action plans are there, indirect action, promotion, advertisements are there. Okay, so something you want to have it fast, now, then and there. Some things, okay, it should play in the minds of the people slowly, and they'll come back to me in certain period of time. So these all comes under sales promotion. Next is advertising and pricing. The last one. Okay, product, place, then price, which are the four ones. Product, price, place, and promotion. Okay, what all we had? We had product, place, promotion, and last one is the price. We're looking at the price now. So what are the different kinds of prices? So first one is price skimming. So in short, I'll explain. Price skimming. So what is price skimming? Higher price is being kept for the product. It is also called as prestige pricing as well, I think. No, prestige pricing is different. So price skimming is higher price is being kept where only a certain kind of people only will have it because of the higher price. So this is called as price skimming. Next is penetration pricing, where a very low price is kept, where they are trying to penetrate into the market. That means they want to be in each and every market by providing less price than their competitors. Next is comparative pricing. You are comparing your price with others into the market, and you are having your price. Next is competitive pricing. You are looking directly at one or two competitors who are major competitors, and you are trying to compete with them by having prices equal to them or lesser than them. That is competitive pricing. Next is promotional pricing. So I am here for promotions, and this particular price is only valid till I move out of here. You could have seen some seminars and all. If you book now, this special price is available only now. If I move out of here, you will not get it, and the price would be 2 to 3 times more than what you are looking at. That is promotional pricing. Last is prestige pricing. Prestige pricing in the sense, if you have a product that is having more value, then people try to associate with their prestige. If I buy it, if I'm having this, if I'm having a car that is Audi or a Rolls Royce, okay, I'm having that prestige. So why that is being done? Because of the pricing. If everybody cannot afford that particular thing, okay, so that is prestige pricing. Okay, students, we'll stop here for today. Okay, then in the next class we'll continue. So hope so we'll complete module 1 and we'll start with the module 2 in the next class. Okay, students, thank you very much. we will stop here with the class.